Ever since the dawn of humankind, we've sought the origins of our life and its purpose. Some have chosen to look to science, religion, or philosophy for answers. Many have turned to the great masters such as Lao Tzu, the Buddha, and Jesus Christ for spiritual illumination. Still others have sought truth through their own direct experience. All of us are searching, knowingly or unknowingly, for enlightenment, truth, and harmony in our lives. This program, hosted by Dr. Gregory Penn, will help you aspire to a more fulfilling and rewarding life.
Every day you take us there, we understand. The closer that we get, we'll find in who we are. We choose between the left and right, the ups and downs, the darkness or the light. We'll find in who we are.
Good morning and welcome to this edition of Aspire. In metaphysics, we hear everybody being obsessed with wanting more. More money, more power, more of everything. And yet I'm going to question that. Is more really better? I think the greatest gift that we will ever find is just in being ourselves, in finding out who and what we really are. And in doing that, we must learn to let go. There are many things that need to be released and let go of within us. Pride, ego, attachment to the mind, and wanting more. In this particular edition of Aspire, we're going to work on letting go. So come join us. One of the most important things that we learn as individuals is the burdens that we carry. All of us carry our own burdens. And for many years, I think a lot of us have carried some unnecessary burdens that we have been told we should be carrying or we'd better be carrying, or we're not responsible people. And that is something I want to talk to you about, your level of responsibility. The responsible person, as I have seen them in my life, is always the one that always seems to be the most burdened down with problems or challenges or situations. Look at your life for a moment. How much of your life is spent being burdened by problems? The burdens that you carry, which your parents told you you should carry, the burdens that your clergy told you you should carry. I mean, look at religion for a moment. It's nothing but a burden. When you think of Jesus, who's supposed to be the great Western master of this world, what do you think of? But this man carrying this huge, heavy cross, right? And dragging it up the hill. And then religion teaches you that you have to carry the burden of the responsibility that he died for your sins. And so people like me who say, wait, hold on 1 minute, I wasn't there and I don't want that kind of responsibility. I will not assume that kind of responsibility. I did not put this man to death. Then we are called what? What do they call us? Heretics, heathens, cults, what else? Yeah, dissidents, I like that. I guess I am. I don't buy that for a minute. And I think that the first moment where we stop with the burdens is where we say, I don't need to carry this anymore. I stop this whole trip. And I think that's the beginning of your spiritual unfoldment. When you refuse to take the responsibility for what they tell you you should be taking. I want you to think about this with me just for a moment. How much of your life is not your own? It's what everybody told you you should be doing. We think alike. We accept the responsibilities. If somebody has a problem or somebody has a situation in their life that is uncomfortable, we look at them, we say, well, you should have known better. How'd you let yourself get into this kind of situation? Always putting the burden of responsibility on us in that way. I'd like to lift that burden a little bit because I don't think life should be a burden. I don't think it's meant to be a burden. I think we create it. And I think as you begin to walk the spiritual path, it becomes less and less of a burden. It is just letting go of those things that have held us down. And I have a teaching from Jesus that I'd like to share with you. I never hear ministers talk about this, and we'll probably get mail on this one. But I want to deal with this a little bit. It's found in Luke, and I want you to listen to what Jesus said and hear what he's trying to teach us. He said, if any man come to me, and get this, hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, and yea, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Interesting thought. In other words, for me to be good at being a disciple of Jesus, I have to hate my mother, my brother, my friends, and even my own life. The word hate here is not the word that we use. When we say we hate someone, we're into passion. The word hate here doesn't mean that we hate another person, but rather that we put it aside, okay? We take this and we put it aside. So if we listen to what Jesus is saying, we will hear him saying, if you're going to be my disciple, you're going to have to put aside all the things that your mother, your father, your brothers, and everybody in your family, and everybody who was an influence in your life, and they told you this is the way to live, you're going to have to put that down. You see, here's where the problem lies in spiritual growth. Our resistance to growing. Because it will go against the grain of most people. If you look at Jesus, he was not someone who made people unhappy. He healed people, he loved people, he taught us, but what made people unhappy were those individuals who his teachings were in direct opposition to. The Pharisees, the scribes. And when you start practicing love, you're going to be in direct opposition with people. That's what Jesus was. He was an example of that unconditional love and went in direct opposition. I want to give you some things to let go of. If you practice letting go, so much of our work in truth, so much of our work in metaphysics is letting go in the beginning. It's not accepting. You hear metaphysical ministers and teachers say you've got to accept. Accept, accept, accept. It's the opposite. You have to lose. You have to lose and lose and lose till you don't think you have anything more to lose, and then you've got to lose that. And when you've lost it all, as Jesus said, when you forsake it all, then you have something. I want to give you some things to forsake, some things to practice on this week. And for those of you who are watching us at home, I'd be very interested in hearing about this process in you. The first thing you have to lose is your sense of belief. And I've talked to you folks about this before. Belief is one of the major problems of our life. Belief is just another word for the great word, opinion. That's all it is, opinion. I was having dinner with a friend recently, and he was telling me his opinion about something that was, well, rather religious to him. And he said, I don't just believe this, I have faith in this. And I was supposed to be moved by that. Interesting thing about faith and belief, and they're very interesting things. We think that faith and belief are built upon accepting things that we have not experienced. And that's what religion teaches us. Even metaphysics teaches us to accept things that you have not experienced, and you will have faith. In other words, you take it in your mind, you go, I will believe this, until you just hold on to it in your mind and repeat it 1,000 times. That's why they have you do affirmations. In the 50s, that would have been called brainwashing. Do you remember? We should be so lucky to be so brainwashed. Our brains need a cleansing. Belief has got to be dropped. If you look up the word belief in Webster's dictionary, you will find something very interesting. It means this: the acceptance of a concept or an idea, but not necessarily understood by the believer. I think, for my taste, that says it all. You don't need any more beliefs. You have a belief in Jesus. You have a belief about God. You've got a belief about your money. You have a belief about your friends. You have too many beliefs. Let them go. Another thing, and I know we only have a short period of time here, you need to let go of what other people think of you. Woo! Wouldn't that be wonderful? Not to give a darn about what your neighbor thinks of you, if your yard is clean, or if your clothes are proper, or if your car is shiny, or if you're a different kind of person. We all want to fit the mold, so nobody will talk about us, and they're talking about you anyway. You want to hear a few things? I'll tell you. Please remember, what other people think of you is none of your business. And what they think of you doesn't matter. There's only one person who matters, and that is, what do you think of yourself? What do you know about yourself. It's really more important what you know rather than what you think. If you practice just those two little things, letting go of your beliefs and not being concerned about them, dropping them, having a direct experience and wanting a direct experience in God rather than having a belief about God, a contrived idea about God, imagine the possibilities. Then just think if you and I were not so concerned about what they all think of us. Just think of the things you do. Shuddering, isn't it? Think of the things you'd be able to do. You'd be able to love. You'd be able to be compassionate. You would be able to get beyond your ego and yourself. We are contrived and we are manipulated. We are burdened most of our life with problems that aren't our own. And as Jesus said, we have to forsake. Any person who is not willing to let go of the opinions of his brother or his mother or his sister or his clergy, ooh, and I don't want you to believe me. You have to find it out for yourself. I've never taught you anything and said, no, you must believe what I say because I've seen it. You don't have to. I'd like you just to have your own genuine experience. And the few of you who have had that experience have come to me and have said, aha, I know what you mean now. I understand. Because it's your experience. That is beyond belief. That is really beyond faith. That is a knowingness. And in that kind of knowingness, there is meaning and significance. Look at yourself this week. See how many burdens you carry around that shouldn't be yours and are really not your own. And make a decision inside of yourself. Are you going to let them go? Are they worth hanging on to? Are they worth clinging on to? And if you don't need them anymore, if they don't build a life that is happy and rewarding, it's time to let them go. Thanks for being with us. We're going to do some question and answer. At the end of all of my Sunday discourses, I like to have some time with my congregation. I'm fortunate to have this kind of congregation in the sense that they can ask questions, that they're interested. It's one thing to sit and listen, but I always know there's more on their minds, and I'm sure there's more on your mind at home about some of the things that we discuss. So this is our effort to kind of reach out and share with you. Okay? Questions? Quickly.
Hi, how do we get through the point and the connection of worrying about what we do and what other people think that we do?
In other words, you're concerned about what other people think you should be doing that you're not doing?
Yes.
Or are doing?
Or are doing.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very good question. What you have to understand, all of you, is this. You can't live your life for other people. You just can't. And I've always thought of this. When I was growing up, everybody told me what to be and how to act. And I tell you the classic story about when I got ordained. The moment it happened, nothing changed. I sat down and I sat next to my best friend. And I looked at him and said, I don't feel any different than I did 2 minutes ago. And he said, neither do I. We were expecting the minister fairy to come down on us and sprinkle us with something, and nothing happened. And they told us how to act and what to be and what to say and what not to say. And I found out in my life, I played the game for so long and then the dam broke. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be yourself. The single most important thing in your life is to be yourself. And in that effort, it is true you're going to make mistakes, and sometimes you're going to look kind of clumsy and stupid, and you're going to do dumb things. You're going to do things that are uncomfortable. Let me just put it that way. But that's being you. That's being me. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't worry about what other people think. If they have to make commentary on your life, shrug it off. Really, what other people think of you is really none of your business. What you think of you is more important. Now listen to me. If what you do means more to you than what other people say about you, you'll know you're always doing the right thing for you. If what you are doing is not as important as what other people are saying about you, then you've made a very big mistake. Not that you've done something wrong, but that you are trying to please people. And that's the biggest mistake you can make in your life. I always have this little thing in me. Who is out there in the world today that I want to be exactly like? I can't think of anybody. Can you? There's nobody. I just want to be the best me I can be. So therefore, if they're criticizing me, I stop and I say, do I want to be like you? Are you the example of what my life should be like? I don't think so. So if you're criticizing me, have a wonderful time. Because I'm not listening. Okay? Next question. Everybody's down in the front today.
Greg, how does one let go of beliefs? It seems like we just more or less trade. We have one belief and then we trade it in and we get another belief.
Excellent. This is superb. This is so important. How do you get rid of beliefs? You watch them rise and fall. If you look at your beliefs, if you are very diligent, you will see that beliefs are nothing more than little play toys that your mind has, that you've stuck some passion onto, association with the past. Most people's beliefs have more to do with their past than their present. I believe this because Mom and Dad believed it. I believe this because I remember the little country church that I went to. I believe this because I got punished for it all the time. When you begin to see the source of your beliefs and how they rise and how they fall, you'll be able to see that you're not trying to trade beliefs. I don't want you to trade and say, okay, I'll throw out these beliefs and I'll accept these. That's no better. It would be better for you to have a direct experience. When you've had a direct experience with something, is it a matter of belief anymore? How can it be? You know it. If you've eaten at a very nice restaurant and you say to me, Gregory, I've eaten at this restaurant, it's very good. And I say, and you say, if you want to go there, it's there, enjoy it. And I think about it a while. No matter what you say, if I go there and I experience it as you did, and chances are I will have that direct experience and I can tell another person, can't I? But if you say to me, I've heard about this restaurant and I believe they have the best food in town, and you've never been there, huh? It's like sportscasters, they do that. It's like ministers, they do that. It's like politicians, they do that. Anybody who thinks that their opinion is better than experience, have the experience. If you notice, Jesus never said, I believe. Never. Because he was the genuine experience of that Christ. He didn't say, I believe that I will move mountains. I believe you will be well. I believe in God. He never said that. He said, believe. But when he said that, he wasn't saying it like we interpret it in the Western world or in this 20th century. He meant it much differently. Have the direct experience of it. Have it all. And that's something that no one can ever take away from you, because your beliefs will go up and down, in and out. If you notice, much of your spiritual growth is retarded because what you believe is contrary to what you are learning, or even what you're experiencing. And there is nothing more aggravating than that, is there? And then now you're really confused. Have a direct experience. Learn to see things as they are, not the way you want them to be. Okay? Next question. Right here.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to criticism and other people's opinions of you. Is there a way to put a distance between yourself and other people? A lot of times if I express feelings or something and no one seems to understand, or they are critical of me, it cuts right at me. I feel as I question myself and my own beliefs, and I don't know if there's a way you can sort of
There's
put a
something
distance.
very good, Marilee, about questioning your own beliefs. That is very important, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And if your beliefs can be questioned or shaken up a little bit, then that shows you that they're not very good, okay? That they're not real substantial things in consciousness. Now, the other aspect of your question is very important. It is very, very important that you understand that you will always have criticism no matter what you do with your life. And the question you're going to have to come to in yourself is, who am I here to please, them or me? I know I buried a lot of people, Marilee, that did nothing but please other people, and they died very miserably. The people who always have that little happy smirk on their face when they leave this plane are the ones who said, and I did it, and I don't mean this arrogantly and egotistically, but I did it my way, the way that it meant something to me. Your way is the only way. And if people really love you, they will accept that. They will accept that. And children are great teachers about that, aren't they? Because they don't do anything our way until we make them. And that is our responsibility. Screw them up. And that's not the way children are. Children are very spontaneous. They're very loving. And if we would learn a little bit of their ways, as Jesus said, to learn their ways, we'd be a lot better off. Don't try to please anybody. I know it hurts. And if what they say hurts you, then please understand that's a part of our ego saying, I'm here to please you. I'll do anything I can to please you. Let go of the pleasing. You don't need to please other people. Find yourself. Be true to yourself. Be true to love in yourself. You'll always be doing the right thing. Always. Does that help you? I hope. Another question. We have time for one more? We have time for one quick one.
Why is there such a denial for or defiance to approve of yourself? And when others approve of you, how come you defy yourself that knowledge or whatever?
Why do you defy the knowledge of yourself and go with the other people?
Yeah, or
because it's easier to get. There's a feeling within us that there is safety in numbers, and there is not safety in numbers. And that's a very, very good question. There's only safety in one. That's you. And sometimes we are very weak inside of ourselves, and we're not quite sure because we haven't had any direct experience in who we are and what we are. And therefore, we're very susceptible to what other people think of us. It's a very common trait. Adults have it. Old, young, middle-aged, we all have it. The best advice I can give to you on the subject is just remember, no matter what you do, know yourself. Okay? That's the most important. Thank you for spending this time with us. I hope you enjoyed this segment of Aspire. You know, it's interesting. I hear people talk about always wanting more, having more. We're obsessed in this country with power and having more of everything. And yet all of the great masters, and I'm going to read to you in just a moment from one of the greatest masters, Lao Tzu, they're all saying to us that we must forsake, that is, to give up. So much has to be given up, ladies and gentlemen, before anything can be gained. Watch your mind. It's always an acquiring mind. It's always trying to gather more power for itself, more prestige, more security. And as long as you indulge yourself that way, you're going to find that you get all the things that your mind promised you would make you happy, make you healthy, make you prosperous, only to find out that it doesn't. In the bottom line, the only true security we have is the security of knowing ourselves and loving ourselves as a spiritual being. I'd like to close with this. I'm a great, great lover of the Tao, and I thought I would just close with this little idea to help you understand even more this idea of emptiness. Lao Tzu says, empty yourself of everything. Let the mind rest at peace. The 10,000 things rise and fall while the self watches their return. They grow and they flourish, and they return to source. Returning to the source, we find stillness, and this is the nature of all things. The nature of all things is unchanging. Knowing consistency offers insight. You know, all of us need a little consistency in our life and a lot of insight. It doesn't come with a mind that is always obsessed with more. I want you to practice something this week and then write me and let me know how it's going, because I'm interested in your life. Let me know, what is it like to let go? Choose one thing this week. Maybe you want to let go of a relationship that is painful. Maybe you want to let go with an obsession of maybe overeating or drinking or something in your work life. Whatever it is, practice this week letting go of just one thing, a burden that you have carried, and see if that doesn't bring to you a peace of mind, an emptiness and a stillness that allows clarity and insight. Write me and let me know how you're doing. We want to thank you for letting us be with you, and we'll see you next week on Aspire.
Every day we take a step, we understand. The closer that we get, we're finding who we are.
Dr. Penn's wardrobe is provided by the Gentleman's Quarter, located in Del Mar and La Jolla, California.
The left and right, the ups and downs, the darkness.